over the years, there's been a lot of really good things to come out of Sweden, and Swedish people themselves are lovely, good human beings, albeit a little bit boring sometimes, but majority of them are really good looking people. Like they invent things, they invent amazing things, like the box that comes home and out of it comes a TV cabinet. They invented the IKEA concept to sell that TV cabinet in a box. And they also came up with the idea of putting yourself in a large oven for human beings and making yourself sweat, but afterwards you felt nice, like you felt nice when you made the cardboard box desk. And all of these things, where I'm going with this is that for some reason Swedish people seem to make nice things, but where they really screwed up, in my opinion, my humble opinion, was way back in the 1970s when they decided to start selling cars called Volvos. And the original Volvos were really smart, but then they went on this sort of, I don't know, it's like all of a sudden Sven went to England and saw people with caravans and went, you know what, let's just build something that can pull a big van behind it and then the English people can go on holiday. And that's what they did. And unfortunately I was tied up in all that because as a child my parents could only really afford to take us on caravanning holidays. And guess what? My father wanted a Volvo estate. And believe it or not, my mother still has that car today. And it's a 1986. And every time I go around there, I shudder when I walk past that car because it reminds me of those horrible days stuck in traffic, sitting in a Volvo. Anyway, getting back to the point in question, we're in a Volvo. I know, it's amazing because it doesn't look or feel like a Volvo. This is the new XC40. This car has been specifically designed to go for a niche part of the market that seems to have been forgotten about by the other manufacturers. It's that little gap between uber expensive and cheap as chips. It's the sort of 40 to 50,000 pound bracket that not many SUV manufacturers have noticed is a little bit vacant. And they've done it. They have nailed it with this car. This is an amazing car. The XC40, it comes with a 2-litre engine. Straight away you're thinking, whoa, now we're talking. It's 250 brake horsepower, 4-cylinder engine. It is stunningly built. I mean, it's impeccably built. The seats are so superbly comfortable. And the whole car itself is just oozing that lovely Volvo modern charisma that Volvo has now installed into its cars. We're not building cars for pulling caravans anymore. This is a modern SUV. I've got to show you around this car because I'm absolutely enthralled by it, which is highly unusual because it is, at the end of the day, a Volvo. So I mean, I grew up hating all my life, and now what am I doing? Sitting here praising the damn thing. Let's get round the car, let's have a look in the back, let's have a look in the boot, what it can do, and then we'll sum up this new car that really is, and I don't think it's going to be long before it becomes a major hot seller and big player in the all-time SUV list. Let's crack on. So the XC40, well, it's one of 3 different variants. There's an XC40, there's an XC60, and there is a top of the range, all singing and dancing XC90. They all share the same power plant, this 2-litre 4-cylinder engine. But the only difference is each of the models has a different power output. So this one has 250 horsepower, the middle one has around 300, and then when you get right to the top, there is a hybrid version with 400 horsepower. Which I can't see as why you would need all that, because this thing is an off-road vehicle as well. So the traction on it is unbelievable. We'll talk about that when we get in and we talk gearboxes and stuff like that. A good thing about Volvos, they are built in countries where it is very cold. And subsequently you get standard, the washer wipe here is actually heated, and so is the washer wipe for, or not the wipe, the washer for your lenses here at the front of the for the lights. And you get a nice running light in the LED running light. You get intuitive LED clusters each side. You get this wonderful grille, which to me looks very Maserati if you look at that. 19-inch rims are standard. The whole car, well, it's just beautifully put together. I mean, the lines and everything on it, when you look at it, is expertly designed. Let's crack on and get round this car because I cannot find fault with it at the moment. It's just unbelievable. I mean, the design of this car just continues down the sides and round to the back as well. The way it's shaped, the way whoever's put this together has thought about it, is actually given it a bit of something a bit different, not just looked at another car and copied it. I love these two big windows here, rather than just a little panel here, which you normally get on the Japanese cars. It cuts off. This has got a big window here, making the back, well, we'll look at that in a minute when we get inside. I love the way it sweeps up here. I mean, this is the inscription version. We'll talk about that again on the different models. It's just a different pack that you get with the car. The LEDs that run around here, I mean, the whole thing is beautiful. This is a little bit copy. It is a bit Range Rover Evoque, in my opinion, along here. However, with the Range Rover Evoque, you lose the screen at the back, goes very small, and you lose the rear vision when you're looking out. With this, it's massive. You've got this long, and there's a brake light in here, and you've got the wash wipe on the back. I love the shark fin on the top as well. That is a really nice, neat, and it's all done in the colour coding. The whole car, I mean, it just looks smart. Let's have a look inside at the back and see whether it's actually functional, if it's got enough boot size to shove 9 Labradors and a couple of surfboards in there and go away for the weekend. Let's check it. Let's check inside, because I'm going to be pleasantly surprised. I know I am. Well, there you go. It's an assisted tail lift, which is lovely. It's got these massive, great big pistons here that push it up, so it makes little or no effort at all on behalf. Oh my God, I've just spotted it. That's going to ruin the whole thing. Parcel shelf. But, because I've done a little bit of homework on this car, watch, and I know I hate them, and there is a reason for them, because if you, for example, maybe you've got an embarrassing dog or something and you don't want anybody to see it, you can hide it under there. Now, in all seriousness, if you've got some nasty people out there want to steal stuff that you might leave in the boot here, it is handy to have this so they can't see what is in the boot. However, it's still a bloody horrible old plastic bit of crap. But let's pull it out, because with the touch of this, watch this, guys, just watch this, look at that. It's even got a hinge with a spring on it, so I let go of that. Take this out, that's your doggy guard there, that's all nicely wrapped up in there. I'll put that out of the way for a minute. This goes straight in here like that. Look at that, how easy is that? It's even got a little runner in the middle where you can put your doggy guard like that, lift that back up like that, drop it down. Oh my God, how beautiful is that? Volvo, you have listened to consumers, you have worked out we don't all want a parcel shelf, because we're not all carrying valuable items. Sometimes it's just welly boots and towels and a manky old dirty Labrador. So we don't need it in the way. But now look at that, it goes away. Enough said. Nice scuff guards, proper scuff guards. And look, that is absolutely level. Now, I had a comment from one of our UK subscribers the other day moaning that I've always loved this nice and flat, I don't like the dip, and the reason he moaned is because he bought a £60 bottle of Scotch, single malt in actual fact, and when he opened the boot it came rolling out and smashed on the car park floor. Sadly, he lost a £60 bottle of Scotch, but at the end of the day it's all about the luggage and getting stuff in, and I'm sorry, if you lose a bottle of Scotch then you should have put it maybe in there, hidden away. Because if you did leave it in there, chances are someone would steal it because you didn't have your parcel shelf in. All makes sense when you think about it. Let's have a look over here, because there are some extra bits and pieces. I'm only joking, I'd be gutted if I lost a bottle of Scotch. 12-volt adapter, there she is. You like that? Little first aid kit. And over here, look, there's a couple of buttons, and they actually put the seats down. Now, size-wise, this car, 460 litres of boot space in the back here. When the seats are down, it's 1,360 litres, and we'll put them down right this minute. Watch how easy it is to put them down. Ready? I'll push the button there, and bosh. And oh, I feel like Harry Potter. It's like, it's Expelliarmus. Look at that. It's massive, and so massive. I don't want to climb in here because a certain other, YouTuber that does car reviews climbs in them and shows you how big they are. It's pretty obvious, this is massive. The only thing I can't work out before we jump in the back and show you around there is, what is that for? I feel like, bit of Robin Hood. No idea, and I think there are some bits to hang your shopping on as well. All in all, Volvo, you are just stunning when it comes to this little SUV. This XC40 is amazing. Let's climb in the back, because it might be so uncomfortable it's all going to go pear-shaped. Let's check it out. Right, in the back here, well, before we just jump in, you'll notice this has carpet inside, which is a great idea because it cuts the sound down when you put bits and pieces in there. However, if you have like two little brats in the back here that you constantly feed lollipops and stuff to, and they drop one down there, it's going to make an awful mess. You shouldn't feed your kids when they're in the car anyway. Chloroform, it's always the best, I find. Keeps them quiet for hours. It's, again, well put together, beautifully designed, lovely leather feel. Independent heating controls in the centre here. These are very, very Mercedes-like. They're proper, you know, you can actually feel them click as you turn them. However, you can't change the heating. That's still got to be done up the front, but at least you can turn it on and off. Down here is a 12-volt adapter, quite a high centre transmission tunnel, but we'll forgive it that because the leg space in here is absolutely humongous. And the height, well, naturally, Swedish people are very tall, so they've built this for people who are over 6 foot. And I'm sure if you didn't have this huge panoramic sunroof in here, you would gain even more height because that has to be built, and then it obviously drops the roof. In the centre, well, apart from the two ISOFIX points, mandatory, you know all about that anyway, there is a very nice, comfortable armrest with a double cup holder. And neatly hidden, and this is why you're paying little bit more money, neatly hidden behind this little flap of carpet is the ski hole. But you can only undo that. I can't do it from the front here, it has to be done from the back. And we worked out that you wouldn't want to undo it from here anyway, because why would you be trying to put your skis in this way? You'd be putting them in the boot, and there's a little latch there, you can just touch it in the back there. All nicely done, all lovely, well put together. One last thing, is there enough space for an adult to sit in the middle? And the answer is yes, there is, and it is very comfortable. So you could easily fit 3 normal sized people in the back here. Let's jump round the front and have a look at all the goodies and gadgets that the Volvo XC40 comes with as standard, and then we'll give it a final evaluation before it will be the end of this review. Catch you in a second. Before we jump up front in the XC40 and I show you all the lovely bits and pieces on here, don't get too carried away because this car tops out around £48,000 with all the extras that they've put on it. However, on the lower level, which is the Momentum version of the XC40, which is still a damn good car, it just doesn't come with the roof, it doesn't come with the electric tail lift. You can live with all that. That starts at £28,000, and that's real stiff competition for the likes of Nissan and Toyota and all your other run-of-the-mill SUVs. So it's there in the market and it's grinding away. If you want the car that starts in this level, which is the Inscription level, they start around £38,000, which again is just on the upper level of that range. But I think the £48,000 one we're looking at, we are into Audi level, BMW, Mercedes level. And that puts it in a completely different bracket, as I said in the intro. Let's jump inside and I'll show you what you get for £48,000. Right, let's check out what you get up front. The driver and the passenger. Well, the first thing you're going to notice is the Volvo. These seats are so beautifully ergonomic. They fit you almost perfectly, and there's loads and loads. They're all electronic, they're all nice leather, and there's loads of manoeuvrability with it as well, so you can find the perfect position. It's a keyless ignition. Let's get it started so we can have a good look at it. I'm going to shut the door, got the key here as well. It's got a Harman Kardon sound system in here, which is simply amazing. You can have it on surround sound, you can set it all up how you like it, and it comes with Apple Play as well on the top of the range model. You're paying all that extra money, you'd expect that. The Apple Play, obviously you can scroll across. This is a 9-inch TFT touchscreen, by the way, so you get all your apps with your Apple Play. On here you've got a 12-inch driver's information system screen, as Volvo call it, which is also excellent. The heating controls, we're starting up here, by the way, we'll talk about this bit in a minute. Down here, very simple touchscreen, so you can set your heating up there, you've got your heated seats and you've got your heated steering wheel, all very simple. Likewise over here can be mirrored across, and also obviously with that Apple Play you've got the mirroring, which you can do. There is an Android mirroring system on this as well, so if you do own an Android. Unfortunately, this one for the Apple users has wireless charging. It's an extra £170, so if you're an Android user you're going to save that, aren't you, because you can just plug it in, because down here there's a USB charger and there's a 12-volt adapter. The one thing I've noticed about this, everything is very simply put together. So heating, for example, and sound, heating, sound, very simple. over here we have a mode button, a driver's mode button. Now this is where it gets interesting, because up the top here, if you push once, we're in comfort mode. Then there's an individual setting, so you can set this as your personal driving preference. You have a dynamic setting. Now that is like the sport setting, so that releases the full power of the engine and also hardens up the suspension. We'll come back to that. Eco, obviously what it says, it's an efficient drive. And off-road, because at the end of the day this is an off-roader, so it will go off-road, albeit it's not a proper off-roader because we haven't got a separate transmission, etc. Looking over here on the steering wheel, again very basic and simple. To the right, menu scroll and sub-menu system comes up here on your display, very simple, and it's got a voice activation button as well. On the left here, it's just simply your cruise control and your distance control. It's so simple. With this one you get the safety pack, which gives you the blind spot mirrors, it gives you the distance control on your cruise control, it also gives you autonomous braking in town, all the usual bits and pieces, but again you're paying a little bit extra for that, which is bumping the price up. Let's check it out down here. So you know that it's got wireless control here, wireless charging over there, got a little place here to keep your loose change, double cup holder in the center, a horrible, disgusting Crystal Maze award-winning glass, something you'd find on your grandmother's, I don't know, dresser somewhere. I just don't understand why. Anyway, I'm sure you can get it in black. Then you've got the auto hold button that you can put on, so when you're on a hill it will auto hold. Then in here is a rather nice sort of, I don't know, just a cubby box that's got nothing in it. Quite big, but this is the bit I like. Look at this, check this out. So this is it's a waste bin. Look at that, your very own personal cute little waste bin. Or it could be to hold change, but then if you hold in that much change you'd probably be on your way to Las Vegas or somewhere to play the slots. So I'm pretty sure it's a waste bin. It's got some nice velcro on the side so it doesn't scratch when you put it back in there, and that all folds down really nicely and it turns into a rather nice armrest. There you go. All in all, the car, well, it's got a great sound system, it's lovely and comfortable. We just need to get it out on the road, check out it's nice and quiet, and what the differences are when we're changing the modes. Let's go and have a look. Catch you out on the road in a sec. Out on the road, it's a lovely place to be. It's got a massive great windscreen or windshield, whichever you are and wherever you're from. It's got loads of visibility about it. I love this big panoramic sunroof as well. It comes right here, so it's giving you all that light and space, and yeah, just really nice. You feel comfortable, you feel protected because you know it's a Volvo. I mean, in the crash tests and all that, this is the #1 car. We all know that. It has been for many years. Let's talk a little bit about economy on this car, because as you know there are 5 different drive modes, and I've had this in the economy mode, and Volvo are claiming around 39 or even 40 to gallon on the urban combined cycle. I'm getting around 29, just under the 30 in actual fact, and I haven't been thrashing it. A little bit disappointing, but there again, this is a 2-litre petrol engine, and I think anywhere around the 30 to 35 is pretty good for that type of engine. If you put it into, let's talk performance now. If you put it into the dynamic mode, which is the sport mode, this car suddenly just completely changes. It's a totally different animal. 0 to 60 in around 6.5 seconds. Completely nuts in this car. Top end of around 140 miles an hour, and this thing, trust me, I reckon it'll go all the way past 140 easily, and it'll get there very quickly. It's a super torqued up engine, and you can see that Volvo have really worked on this, so as it does go in each of the models, the XC40, the 60 and the 90, and all you do is just torque the thing up to get more brake horsepower out of it. It's a great idea, and you don't have to produce loads of different engines. You know, sitting here, wow, what a car. I've liked this car right from the beginning. You know that. You got the sense of that when we first started this review. And what the scary thing is, and I don't know whether it's an age thing or whether it's just something I've managed to get over, like giving up smoking. The fact is that, as I said right at the beginning, I hated Volvos when I was a kid, but now I'm sitting in a Volvo that I actually think is probably one of the best cars Volvo have ever produced. I would thoroughly recommend a test drive in one of these cars, because I think you will just be so surprised. The shame of it is that people aren't really searching for a Volvo XC40 on the YouTube, you know, when you're looking for something to get a decent review out of. So you'll never ever see this, and you won't know that it's good value for money. But those of you who do get out there and give it a try. I'm AJ, the player. You've been watching me. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope I've given you an insight into the XC40 and made you decide whether it's worth going for that extra measure and taking the test drive. Don't forget, subscribe, click on the old thumbs up. We love that, but most of all, I love your comments. Keep them coming in. Really super, and I love replying to them too. I'll catch you next week with another car. You've been watching me, AJ the player. See you later.